Flipper.
Gaurav and Pranav. That is Santa and PC. What is happening, everybody?
What's
Big,
up? What's
big
up?
win. Santa, big, huge win, huh?
Huge win, man. I like. I was sitting in the office, like had the match playing on my freaking phone screen. Totally distracted. Got no work done. But
What
like,
happened?
I was.
What happened? We were talking day 5, a draw is great. I mean, I was up till 3 in the morning. I'm in New York, for those of you who don't know. Gaurav is in India. What happened?
It just
Nobody
went
expected
for it,
this, right?
man. Like I
Nobody
thought,
expected
like
this, right?
I mean, and that's what like when you were watching it, it wasn't like they sprung like a surprise attack on Australia. Like it's not like suddenly in the third session they woke up and they started like blasting away. Everybody
Right.
was hitting the ball apart from like Pujara. So like they had a strategy. It's like hold one end up. Everybody else is gonna try to hit. Like Rahani came and hit 24 of 22, man. Like it was thrilling. Like they were telling the Australians that we're gonna go after this. We couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. But it happened. I can't believe that we
Yeah,
actually won
everyone's
that
hitting.
fucking game.
Washington Sundar, 22 of 29 balls. How key was that? Because if he didn't hit, we would have had a tough time.
Second new ball hooked Cummins for a six, and Cummins was
Oh,
basically the only
what a
threatening
shot that
guy.
was.
It's like boom. It's like that was the. I think at that point it was like okay. After that, we were all worried about okay. We hope we don't collapse now. That was the only thing we were worried about.
I mean, when Sundar got out, we needed 3 runs. Or no, we needed like, I don't know, 8
No,
or
no,
10
we need
runs.
10 runs, 10, yeah. And then
10 runs, yeah.
Shardul got out. So at that point, we were like, okay, guys, come on. This is New India. We don't choke.
Known show.
We didn't.
So,
It
but,
was
but
great.
before we get carried away, I want to talk about day 4. Day 4, Australia went out, and just as we discussed, they're going to get 330, 340. They ended up getting
Exactly that. 327.
294. That gave them a lead
Yeah,
of
327,
whatever,
I think. There.
320, yeah, 320x, whatever. That was like, I did not think day 5 starting. We had Siraj that took 5 wickets. Great call on him, dude. You called it, man. The best bowler out of all the youngsters. You called Siraj, and there you go. 5 wickets from that guy the next day.
So,
Thakur had,
yeah,
you know that Thakur had 4 wickets.
Agar, they were both at 4 wickets at the end, if you remember. And like it was literally like every over they were bowling. Like it was a contest who's gonna get to 5 wickets first.
Yeah.
I mean, and the funny thing is that Shardul actually caught the catch towards
Oh,
Siraj fifth wicket.
Siraj
And he was
dropped.
ecstatic.
Siraj dropped 2 catches, by the way. He redeemed one of them by taking Steve Smith with the one he dropped on the boundary. And he dropped Cameron Green off his own bowling. That's a tougher catch, but you should take those.
That was
Um,
Shardul, right? You're talking about Shardul.
no, that was Siraj. Siraj dropped a cotton bolt off Cameron
Okay.
Green when he was on.
I'm confusing the first innings, I think.
I see.
Shardul dropped the first innings, I think.
Gotcha. And then batting wise, we had again Labuschagne always gets those starts. David Warner, he had 48. They had a good partnership to begin with. We already saw that. But then Steve Smith, he really put them in the front seat at that time. We did a good job wrapping them up, I think.
I mean, it was at the end of it because the last 6 wickets got them 100 runs, and I think the last 3 wickets got them 50 runs. So they were at 245 or so for 7, or was it 250 for 7? Something like that.
242 for 7.
Yeah.
That's when the 7th wicket fell.
So at that point, I think everybody was hoping that like all the Indian fans were hoping that if we can get the last 3 wickets for like 30 runs, then we still have an outside chance. And like once they got to like 294, the lead was 330. So as some of you guys might be aware, the largest chase at Brisbane ever in the 4th innings.
By a lot.
Ever.
By like 50, 60 runs. Who knows?
238.
Yeah, 100 runs.
Yeah. So it was 100 runs on a 5th-day pitch against arguably the best bowling attack in the world.
Right.
India maybe is up there, but in home conditions, you would expect them to wrap the innings up.
Yeah,
We don't have Kohli, who was generally the best man for the job in chase situations. We
absolutely.
don't have
We
Vihari,
have no
who was
we have no Ashwin batting at the tail. We have no Jadeja batting in them towards the end. We have nobody. We have no Washington Sundar. We have Washington Sundar, and he did it. He fucking did it.
crazy. I mean, just to see the way that so on our chat group, like I was like, okay, the only way we're winning this if we get like freak innings. I was like, if Gill gets 100, and then like day starts off and we get like 91 from Gill, and I was like, okay, that's a good start. But I wish we had Rohit because even at that point, I don't think any of us thought that we could win this. And they just kept going. I mean, they just kept going. Pujara was a fucking warrior. Like he just
Warrior.
kept
He
blocking
got
and
hit.
block
He got hit 10 times.
everywhere.
And I'm not saying he got, he took a bruise on his shoulder. He got hit on his head like 5 times. He got hit on his arm. He got hit head on or got hit on his chest. He just took it like a warrior, man, and he was rock. 314 balls played in one day. Okay? 900 balls played in this series. Pujara, what he does, man, nobody
60.
can do. I
The
was
funny
actually
thing
saying
is, how many balls he played last Test series?
probably like 1,500, I would guess.
Like 12, 1,300 balls.
Yeah, he's just. I was actually seeing one of these Cricket Australia videos that they put out, and they were talking about if you were to have one batsman that has to bat a whole day to save your life, who would it be? And like 3 people said Steve Smith, but both the bowlers, Hazelwood and Pat Cummings, said Pujara, dude. He's like that guy. He has no concept of
What was
time.
his song?
He's like, what 8 hours is for you is 1 hour for Pujara. He has no concept of time. He's so patient. Amazing. So, but we'll back up here for a second. So let's talk about day 5. The first 50 overs was pretty much Shubham Gill. What do you think of that guy, man? Now he's a 91 under his belt.
I mean, like a lot of times, like we don't really like. It's easy for me to see Ranji at least in India, but like you don't really spend the time to see these guys bat at the domestic
Yeah.
level. Like
Yeah.
mostly the first time we see guys is like IPL, right?
Okay.
So if you just look at pure stats, there are a lot of guys who come through who've been good, and like Indian cricket now at this point, there are like a lot of prodigies. I mean, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Unmukh Chand, some of the guys who didn't make it as well. So Unmukh Chand,
Nitish Rana. He's a good guy.
Nitish Rana. I mean, it was maybe a prodigy. Prithvi Shaw, and then like all these new guys like Priyank Panchal and Ruturaj Gaikwad and Yashasvi Jaiswal. I mean, these guys are all supposed to be prodigies, but like Gill from the get-go, everybody's always been saying, look out for this kid. Look out for this kid. He's going to be like the next big thing. So there's obviously like an it factor to him that, I mean, Yuvraj saying, like all like ex-players, coaches, they've all been like, this guy's going to be a star. And like day 5 was like his platform. Like he sang his heart out.
You know what? Instead of like prodigies, I like players like there's many prodigies, like you said. But if there's 10 prodigies, like there's going to be 1 or 2 people that show up when you need them. Okay.
Yeah.
He's one of them. He showed up when it mattered. That's all that matters in sports.
So I think he finished with the highest runs for us in the tournament.
In the series, yes. No, Rishabh Pant 1, Pujara 2, Rahane
highest
3.
Average, maybe, sorry.
Oh, yeah, highest average by a lot. I mean, not highest average was still Pant, 69.89.
Okay, third average, yeah, 51.8 is what Gill had.
No, Gill was 6. Oh, I'm looking at striker. I'm sorry, dude. 51.8. You're right. Second highest.
So
either way,
every time he opened, it was calm. Like he didn't think that he was going to get out soon. Fairly sorted technique.
If he does the right things, he's not going anywhere. Agreed?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think.
So the first 50 overs was all Gill, and then there was a short period of time when Pujara and Rahane. I'm not even going to talk about Rohit Sharma, dude. Like I'm going to skip past that guy. Like his test match. I don't know what. I'm not going to touch that subject.
It's okay.
Then we're
He
going to
played
go.
well in the first innings. He threw it away, but like he got us off to a good start in the first innings. So,
Oh yeah, he got a great start, but the problem was the shot he put. Again, you're baiting me, so I'm not going to fall for the bait. Okay. Um, Then there was Rahane and Pujara. Okay. Their partnership was not that big, but Rahane was playing shots, like you said.
yeah, he was going out like, and I was surprised. Like when he walked out, I think all of us were like, okay, why didn't he send Pant? You know, there's nothing to lose because if we have to block and save the match later, Rahane would come in handy. So he should have sent Pant out. And I think it was, a bit of Dhoni in the World Cup final. Like he wanted to take on the responsibility and maybe take all the glory if it pays off. So, but like I was surprised the way he came out. I'm like, initially it was like, okay, if he just wanted to go hit it, you might as well have sent Pant. He could do the same thing and you wouldn't have to take the risk. So I mean, love the attitude. Don't know if I totally agree with the strategy of him coming out, but like I'm not gonna complain. We won. Everything that
Not gonna
happened
complain.
leading up to it was like.
But you're right. Ideally, Pant should have come ahead of Rahane, and so should have Mayank. That's what I would have done. But again, worked out. Who cares?
Yeah, like screw it. No complaints. Not gonna nitpick. So,
And then,
so that was
and then
that was a
3 for
enterprise.
167. That's when Rahane got out. We still had half the score, half-ish of the score left. And in comes your man, dude, Rishabh Pant. No looking back.
Who I've so as you remember, I basically introduce everybody on our chat group to whoever new comes in, like justifying the case of okay, why has this guy been selected? Just because I follow maybe IPL and domestic a bit, and there's a lot of funny talk, but like Rishabh Pant absolutely was lighting it up in Ranji when he got picked. I mean that
so
season he had like.
I'm going to read his stats from Ranji. In first class, Rishabh Pant has played 40 matches, 63 innings, 2940 runs at an average of 50. In List A, he's played 52 matches, 48 innings, 1292 runs, an average of 29.36. Slightly questionable, right? List A average of under 30. That's not the greatest.
Yeah, not great.
Dude, the first class average of 50. That's good enough.
No, but like the year before he got picked. Okay, so listen to this. He played 7 innings in Ranji in the 2016-17 season.
Okay.
His scores, I'm going to read them out. 146 of 124 balls. 308 of 326 balls.
Oof.
60 of 56 balls. 24 of 20 balls. 9 of 8 balls. 117 of 106 balls. 135 of 67 balls.
Beast mode. This is Sehwag stuff, dude. Sehwag used to do things like this, dude.
I mean, I don't like. I'm pretty sure if I go back and look at like Ranji records for a season, this from both a run and a strike rate point of view is probably unparalleled. I mean, I don't think anybody's hit so many runs so fast with like it's like 7 innings, 4 centuries, which includes a triple century, and 150, and like 2 scores that were okay.
So when that happens, and a guy is not opening, and that happens, you win that game. You win all those games, because what you meant is like you are scoring those runs at like 5 or 6 after 4 people have already hit their runs, so you're just piling on, and it can be very like frustrating.
I don't know what his batting position was, but I mean, regardless, like if you score so many runs at Ranji, you're gonna get picked, right? So he was picked, and I mean, obviously, looking at the record, you're excited. You're like, okay, this guy. There was a lot of buzz about him. He was a 6 hitter, which India typically hasn't had too many of. Right? There was like Yuvraj, Dhoni, and like maybe Raina for a bit, and now it's like Rohit and Pant who are like the big hitters in the team.
Pant had a century the last Australia innings too. It wasn't his first time, so like he's done. Everybody just needs to stop. His problem is his keeping, and it's obviously not as good as some of the other people that are keepers, but he more than makes up for it in his batting. So, I mean, if looking for room for improvement, that'll be his keeping. His batting is great. Not going to complain.
I mean, obviously, like temperamentally, like his temperament, day 5 was perfect, right? Like he had he gave one semi chance, like the stumping, which he got his bat down in time. The ball was away, so I don't even know whether that would have been out. But that was like his one rush of blood moment. But he was trying to hit, so like I mean, the approach was there. So, but otherwise, his maturity that day was also, I think, a sign of him stepping up. So he made 97 in Sydney and made 89 here, both on fifth days in the fourth innings, chasing a big total.
That is the toughest time to get it.
Yeah. So I'll read up a stat. Okay, 89 not out the other day by Pant was the third highest score by an Indian wicketkeeper in the fourth innings of a Test. The two highest scores also belong to him: 114 at the Oval in 2018 and 97 at SSG in the previous, like at Sydney in the previous Test match. Pant averages 87 in fourth innings compared to 35 in other innings of a Test.
But like, who are you comparing him to? Dhoni?
Nobody. I mean, like I'm just saying, like forget keepers. Like as batsmen, if you're averaging 87 in the fourth innings of a Test match, that's unheard of.
That's a big deal.
It's really surprising.
And yeah, I mean, didn't Gilchrist bat at 7, dude? And he used to just decimate people at the end.
I think it was 6, 7.
Depending on how many bowlers they play, right? That's what it comes down to.
I mean, they typically always had an all-rounder then, like Simons or sometimes. So then I think he would drop down. But then Simons would...
No, Simon would play above him.
Yeah, so I think those times he'd bat at 7. Other times at 6, probably.
Hey, either way, man. He's doing what he's doing. Great. We already went over what Sundar did. What else? Who else had a positive impact? That's it, man. Pujara, the wall, the great wall of India. The man, if he has a son, he has to use some sort of a wall reference to name his son, dude. It has to be.
No, man.
His nickname or daughter.
His nickname is the Monk.
The Monk, yeah, he looks like one too. MONK?
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Dude, did you see Hazelwood hit him on his head on a bouncer, then came up to him and said, "Did you like that?" And the guy had the back piece of the helmet fall off, and he still didn't flinch. Like, if I have children tomorrow, dude, I'm sending them to the Pujara School of Patience, dude. Like, that's how he wears people down. He does not wear them down just by blocking balls. You could go up to him and say whatever you want. It's not going to affect him. And that's what you need. Amazing character, man. I cannot praise Pujara enough. There's all sorts of trolls online and Ricky Ponting coming out saying that, oh, Pujara does a disfavor to his team by batting too slow. Maybe. But he puts pressure on bowlers by not getting out, and they're tired. And that's a huge advantage. So you know what? I think he's wrong there.
And I mean, this was, I think, a series where they had actually, because the last time he made like 3 centuries, this time batting was much tougher. I think there were only 3 centuries across the 4 Test matches.
Yeah, Smith, Labuschagne, and Rahane.
And then like a 90 by Pant. But like, yeah, I mean, so it was a tough series to bat. They'd prepared pretty well to Pujara. Like they'd done their homework because they knew that without Kohli, this guy's the batting linchpin. Yeah. And so, it was tougher for him to score runs, but like what he didn't score in runs, he made up for in time batted. And that's like one of the greatest things about Test match cricket, right? Like time still matters. It's not only about runs.
Oh, by the way, I have to correct one thing. In the beginning, I said 314 balls played. That's incorrect. He played 211 balls, 314 minutes before all the, keyboard warriors come at me. I just want to correct that. And there was 97 overs bowled. That's 582 balls bowled. Pujara played 211 out of 580. That's about 37% of all balls bowled on in the last inning. Amazing. Anyway, I just don't want to keep going at it. Pat Cummins, dude, man of the series. What do you think about him?
I mean, he was definitely the best bowler on display because like all our guys who played 3 Test matches, I think Siraj picked up 13 wickets. Ashwin picked up 12.
12, yeah.
So I mean, Cummins picking up 21 and 4. I think that's, that shows why he's the number 1 Test bowler in the world. Like tireless guy, man. Again, like he's like if Pujara was like a wall and unflappable for us in batting, that guy was like It's like a machine, man. He just kept going and going like a freaking Energizer bunny.
You know what's scary about Cummins, dude? He is a faster McGraw. He can bowl that line and length. Like, you know how McGraw used to just bowl the same ball over and over. And after the 15th one, Sachin used to be like, meh, meh. And every now and then he got him, right? So this guy bowls that line, but faster. He's probably 7 to 8K faster than McGraw on an average.
I mean, he was hitting, like, late in the day, he was still bowling, like, 145, 147.
Amazing. He
Got
overall
Pujara out, which could have been a big turning point. Like, if Sundar, like, Mayank failed, that wasn't great. But yeah, if Sundar hadn't come in and saved the day, kind of, against that second new ball, like, he would be basking in the glory of winning his team.
I was remember at one point you were saying in our group chat that, oh, dude, Cummins needs to go off. The commentators here in the US, we have all Australian commentary, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And they were saying that, hey, Cummins has got to bowl till the end. They knew it, that he has to bowl every ball. And one guy's like, no, dude, I think his arm's going to fall off. He can't. Just to give you an idea, in this series, Cummins bowled 162 overs, okay? And the only one who bowled more overs than that was Nathan Lyon at 187. That's a lot.
Who was the next most overs by the Pacers?
The next, Hazelwood had 144. Siraj had 134, which is kind of odd that he only played one. He played only three games. So we bowled Siraj a lot.
Yeah.
Basically, the number of overs bowled by Siraj in 3 matches and Ashwin in 3 matches is about the same. So a lot.
Basically, we were like, okay, young guy, let's ride him.
And we were also talking. What's that?
Siraj, great story again. I mean, this is a guy, like, utmost confidence from, like, whatever you've read. Like he started out, I mean, he was playing under 19, under 22, and he went up to Bharat Arun in, like, one of the IPL nets, and he's like, Coach, when are you calling me up? You know, when are you giving me a chance? Like, he knew from day one that, like, he's going to make it. Like, he's just been waiting
for this day. I love it. That even makes the story better. I didn't know that until now, but I love it. That makes the story better. Because if a guy has confidence about calling the guy and being like, I was made for this, he's probably going to do all right.
Dad was an auto driver, as you've all probably heard. Like, I mean, Dad passed away during this series. He didn't go back to the funeral. I mean, look at the commitment, man. Like, this guy, like, his dad was, like, the closest person to him, the guy who pushed him to succeed. Yeah. Like, he passes away, and this guy just, you know, to make sure that he gets a chance to play and does his country proud with the quarantine restrictions and everything. He couldn't even go back to the funeral. So, I mean, like, unreal commitment to, you know, putting country above yourself.
Yeah.
Crazy story.
Great to see. Great story. Natarajan too, him.
And Natarajan apparently couldn't go back for the birth of his child.
He has a kid? Oh, yeah. He's 29 years old, isn't he? Yeah, he's 29 years old, right?
I think Mayank's 29. Natarajan's a bit younger.
No, Natarajan is 29 and 238 days. Yeah, and he's not just 29. In May, he's 30. So not exactly a spring chicken, but good for him. IPL contract. He's played a T20 international, 1 day test. Amazing. Great stuff. Australia.
So yeah, man of the series, like, apart from Cummins, who was India's man of the series?
Oh boy,
it's a tough one. Seeing that pretty much nobody played 4 test matches.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's tough. I was going to say Pujara, but his average is 33. Tough to give a man of the series to someone who's 33. I'm going for the juggernaut pick, and I'm going to say Pant, dude. Pant. He got us close in the last test match. He actually saw us through the finish line, so he actually progressively got better in his innings and batting. He did drop catches, which is another big question, but hey, he won us the match. You?
I think it was a tough one. I thought initially Ashwin had big impact on the early games. Obviously, that rear guard action, the innings, but like still, it didn't feel right. And then like you look at the batting charts and like how the runs have been distributed, all the wickets have been just like there was actually no real standout. Like everybody chipped in, and because of that, I'm gonna give it to the only Centurion that we had, the guy who captained Rahane.
Rahane? Wow, I would have thought you would have gone
I
Gill,
think
but hey,
I think there was a Rahane series, man. Like I mean, this was like a captain series. Like his captaincy was the reason that we won. Like I don't know what it was. Like maybe just I mean, tactically he was pretty good. I think everybody agreed with that. He made the right bowling changes. Like the strategy to go after the targets, to rejig the batting order, to send Pant up. That was I mean, the captain being the final call, whoever the idea came from. He made a century in one of the test matches we won. Like we won it because of him. He took some important catches and slips. And obviously, like he must have had something to boost the morale of all these youngsters to come in and succeed. Like, I mean, these guys had like no business being playing a test match for India and Australia, and they came and
okay,
like
I see it. I say I'm with you, but what happens to his captaincy? He's great. He did great, but what now? Kohli's captain for the next series. Do you think eventually
so
Rahane takes it over?
I doubt it. I mean, I think he'd be a good candidate, but like, I mean, Kohli's just too big a personality, and Rahane is a good batsman. He used to be our best batsman overseas. Lately, like last few years, he's come off the ball a bit, so he's a bit hit or miss. Like
Until this century.
no, but see, even this series, he played 8 innings. He hit one
Mhm.
century. I don't think he even had a 50.
Yeah, so he had 8 innings, 268 runs, and an average of 38.28. He had one century, and that's it.
Yeah, so bit hot and cold. Like one great innings, and then played like small little cameos pretty much throughout the rest of the series. So, like, I think to take over as captain, you really need to be like either like the batting talisman or like really good. And I'm not sure. Like, Rahane could very possibly be out of the team in like after 2 series as well.
That's insane. He's captain today, and he might not be there after Tuesday. It's insane. All right, so let's just stay on topic. We don't want to go over time again. So I'm just
Right.
going to jump over to Australia's future. What do you see over here? Out of all the players that plays for Australia, I think that Pukoski guy, right? He was good.
Yeah,
He's
he's good.
definitely a good find of the series.
So
What do
I
you think
think
of
if
Marcus Harris? Sorry?
I think Pukowski, if he's healthy, he'll probably slot in alongside Warner. Um, all the other openers have failed.
Yeah, they've
Harris, who was the other guy? Um,
in what match?
Burns, Joe Burns, Harris, they all
Oh
failed.
yeah, Joe Barnes. Yeah.
Matthew Wade had a couple of good innings opening, but he's not really an opener, so I think he's probably better off down the order. But so he's the other person, right? So number 5, where Wade was coming in, I think that's the other area of concern for them. I think they're going to give Cameron Green a longer run because he
He
seemed to
did
be
all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Cameron Green, 4 matches, 7 innings, 236 runs, and an average of 33.71. Not bad. Not
Debut
terrible.
series not bad. They didn't really bowl him that much. I think I don't
He
know why
didn't
they.
bowl at all in the fifth inning or fourth innings.
I mean, he can hit 140. He can swing it. He's tall as fuck. Like he's like 6'7" or whatever.
Yeah, he hits the deck hard, real hard. So
I think so. He was underutilized in this series as a bowler. I think that if he could have gotten some more spells in, that might have rubbed off a bit more on his batting. Even I don't know, but he's going
yeah,
to stay in the team.
it was tough. Okay, who else?
So I think Wade and the opener and maybe Stark. I think they've realized that now that Stark can't be playing 4 matches in Test series. Like you have to use him. Keep rotating him out because like when he gets jaded, then he's like he took 3 wickets in the last 2 Test matches combined. 4 innings, 3 wickets for a guy who can bowl like 150 and swing it like he does. That's terrible.
So the
Like
guys I think are outside looking in after these series might be not part of the may not be. They might get replaced. One is Stark, dude. Stark had a very subpar series. The
that's
other
what I'm
one's
saying.
Tim Payne, right? He's in trouble, man. I don't think he knows it. He's in trouble. Lyon had a very average series, but I don't think they're going to get rid of him just yet, right? And Marcus Harris, he's not going to be in outside looking in. Maybe Wade. But then again, if they get rid of Payne and Wade, who's their keeper? So they're going to pick one.
I think Payne's going to stick around for at least for the next series. I think if he has a bad series in South Africa and if they lose, then I think he's definitely out. I think they can still live with his like subpar batting. He's not like a great batsman. He did all right this series. His average was fine. Hit a couple of 50s. But Wade is definitely, I think, under this. Like he might get one Test match in South Africa, and if he fails, I think he's going to be sitting on the bench. And I think Pukovsky comes in, and he's going to be the other opener, and then I think they'll take it from there. I think the Australia's biggest problem is that they've been too stuck to their starting 11, and they haven't really given their bench players any burn. I mean, Swenson the spinner, they have Michael Nasser, Sean Abbott, Jai Richardson, and so these guys who are all kind of waiting in the wings. So they need to get some Test matches under them before it's just so that the guys stay fresh. Stark can stay fresh. These guys are bowling too many overs. I mean, Cummins' injury history. You don't want to risk the best bowler in the world by just over bowling him. So let's see. They have an uphill task to make the World Test Championship. I think India in the they need to win the England Test series either 2-0 or 3-1 or 4-1, something like that. So hopefully we can make it to the World Test Championship. I think England seems to be in
let's quickly go over those scenarios. So basically, from what I understand, and don't quote me on this, we have to beat England by a margin of 2 games.
Yeah.
So 3-1 is okay, 2-0 is okay, 3-0 is okay, right?
Well, yeah.
So India versus England. I'm just gonna pull this up as we're talking.
New Zealand doesn't have any matches confirmed. I think they are otherwise number 2 or number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 right now. Sorry. So they don't have any matches left. So if England wins all of their remaining 5 matches against South Africa, and if South Africa wins 3-0, 2-0 against Australia, then New Zealand will get kicked out. But as things stand, they just have the second highest chance of making this thing.
After us.
After us, yeah.
I think we have the second highest. It's going to be very hard for them not to make it. A lot has to go wrong. For us, we have to win by a margin of 2.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
They have they need others to lose or the others to win a lot, and then they make it. But anyway.
Sorry, yeah. I think Australia needs to win at least 2 of the 3 matches in South Africa. But I don't know if they're even going to have all the 3 games. They're saying that there might be some uncertainty with that. So
that's bad for us. Is it bad for us?
If we win, then I think we're in. I don't know what happens if both of us meet the criteria. It's like too much math. I don't know. I haven't come up with any articles that address that scenario.
So, guys, I'm going to post the link down in the comment or in the about section about what the scenarios are. I'm going to pull up a good article that I find and I'll post it if you guys want to check that out.
So we look forward to the India-England Test series. It's coming up in 10 days.
There's a lot of good content coming up. IPL is going to come up in a few months. There's going to be India-England, the World Test Championship. So stay tuned, guys. Leave us your comments. Please hit the subscribe or like button. It really helps the channel. We're just doing this as a hobby, so your support is great. Round 1 was I got great reviews. Let us know your comments.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.